Disclaimer: the views, opinions, and insinuations made by the host or guests do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone. This is Life Coach Shaun de Joya, the man from Pasig City from Life Coach Philippines. I am a son, I am a father, I am a husband, and I am a brother to many. And professionally, I'm a BPO executive and a certified life and mental health coach. And as a life coach, I empower men to be mentally fit so that they can stay inspired to live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. In the workplace, I help leaders to create a mentally fit working environment. You are joining me today for Integrate here in our new digital space, Think Talk Broadcast. Think Talk Broadcast is a flagship community project of the speakers of the Coaching Think Talk from Life Coach Philippines and are members of the Coach A coaching community. Our mission is to get closer to our kindred and serve better our coaching tribe. And we envision being the go-to network for content that connects the mind, the heart, and the soul through the platform of life coaching. This is us in the Philippines advancing coaching as an art, a science, a lifestyle, a profession, and also a business. Our one coaching thought for today is a quote from Wanda Skies. If you feel like there's something out there that you're supposed to be doing, if you have the passion for it, then stop wishing and just do it. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, and today is the 30th of April in the year of 2022, and I am broadcasting Beyond Borders from Pasig City, where in 2018, did you know in 2018, Time Magazine declared the city as the selfiest city in the world. So please, when you go to Pasig City, take a selfie and post that in social media. You are joining me for Integrate. This program is created for men and coaching conversation on topics that allows you to create an integrated work life. And the word integrate is to combine one thing with another so that they become a whole. You know, sometimes the feeling of guilt is one of the biggest hurdles that a man experiences, especially the time that we invest in and put in the work that we're doing. Heard of the word work-life balance? If you've heard that, I don't believe in work-life balance. You know, people who seek to achieve this ideal state where our work and our life are two separate environments can really cause us to deal with a high level of stress and pressures, which can lead to a decline in your overall well-being. Work-life integration, what we do here, if you are able to master it and what we're sharing with you and my guest will share to you, allows you to bring work and life closer together. It means you care less about what the work time and what your personal time is, and you can focus instead on the best time to do all of these things. The show allows you to integrate your work and life by learning different mindsets from successful people like my guest tonight, and you can look at the big picture and see all of the components of your life, and there is no competition in your work life. There is also, there's just integration. My guest for tonight is from the city of Manila. He is an advocate for sustainability and renewable energy. And one of his passion is architectural design and environmental sustainable development. Super excited ako dito. Passion stems from caring deeply about what we do or where we work. It's being personally invested and motivated for our mission and, to create a better future. Ito yung sinabi niya. Paolo is married. Architect Paolo is married to architect Vicencio. Sana na-pronounce ko naman tama yun. He has two talented children, John, who is a creative artist, and Patis, who is rating in BS in Applied Mathematics. So, mga very, very talented children. He is the principal partner at PAGE or PAGE, Architecture and Design, and an urban planner for 11 years at UP Diliman School of Urban and Regional Planning. My guest today is architect Paolo Vicencio.
Good evening.
Yun, thank you so
Good
much,
evening. Good
architect, for
evening.
allowing me to have this moment with you, and also allowing other people to experience you and the stories that you will share. One of the things that I tell my guests, and this is something that I really, really love to ask,
Mhm.
architect Paolo, if you're gonna introduce yourself, that you haven't introduced yourself to other people, kasi mostly, di ba, pag corporate, pag workspace, yung introduction mo, yung ano mo muna ginagawa, what do you do, what work do you do, and what so on. But here, I would want for you to introduce yourself in a way that you haven't introduced yourself to a lot of people. So I'll
Wow.
give you that opportunity.
Uh, well, that's a little challenging. I never thought of, well, I never went, well, now that you're asking me, I never really think about it that way. But if I have to detach myself from work, who I just really, how I want to introduce myself, it's just like, I'm probably a dreamer. That's what I do. I'm a dreamer. Just
Ah,
one simple word. I'm a dreamer. I have I have several things that I want to. I dream of stuff to happen. Kasi. So and that's what drives me every day. Actually, though though sometimes I'm dragged by all the complications in life. One thing that drives me is actually the ability to sit back and then just dream of stuff, or actually see visions of things that I wish could happen, or participate in things that could be great for everyone. Actually, that's it's not what I think about every day, but that's what goes through my mind. And when I catch myself dreaming, sabi ko, that's the time I write down some of my thoughts. Just
oh,
like what
wow.
one, yeah, just like one of my friends said, I've talking about certain things or certain visions that I have in mind. Sabi niya sa akin, I'm sure you're writing this down. Sabi ko, yeah, actually no, I don't write it down often unless I catch myself. Sabi ko, so I'm just a
Thank you,
simple
architect.
dreamer actually.
Yun talaga, dreamer. Architect, yung kanina sabi mo, you are a dreamer in one word. Architect, what is the one biggest dream that you have dreamt and has or had been a reality? Ano yun? Isang yun.
Uh, well, I think the biggest is actually to get married and have kids. Because when I was single, I was wondering if will I ever get married, and if I ever get married, will I ever actually have kids? So, dreaming of the date actually to have a family.
Mm.
That's one of the best dreams I actually had. Better than being an architect, and then better than being uh, an environmental planner or anything professionally related. Actually, um, I'm lucky that I have two kids, and I'm still with my wife after, well, we've been married since 1994. So it's been a
Mm.
while, uh, and looking forward to more years together. So that's one of the dreams. Na as a kid, I really wanted to have my own family, actually, and that's
Yun
the
yung
one of the
ano.
best. Mm.
What of the best dream? Paint me a picture of what that dream was and is. Kasi di ba when you were doing your visualizing na, oh, ganito siguro magkaasawa, ganito siguro magkapamilya, ganito siguro
Yeah,
ang buhay ng, alam mo yun, tatay at husband. Compared to the reality na nangyari na. Ano yung picture na yun? Ano yung difference na yun?
I guess it's part of my background. My mom passed away when I was 14. She was 39 years old. And when she did pass away, uh, parang I lost. To me, parang my family was incomplete. My dad was there. He was
Mm.
working hard for me and my sister. Um, uh, Parang ano nga even at the time, my wife was my girlfriend. Sabi niya, sabi niya, believe naman ako sa dad mo. siya pa yung naglalaba para sa inyo. Tapos sabi yung ganun.
Oh.
And I felt I wanted to have a complete family again. Kasi when my mom passed away, that's one of the happiest years in my life was when I was young, together when we were all together.
Yeah.
I didn't have the greatest relationship with my sister, but when we were all together, you felt like it felt complete and happy for me. And
Mm.
then the greatest memories I have is we would go to not ev- well, we would go to the beach every summer. It's not one weekend. Sometimes we'd spend every other weekend during summer, and we'd spend it also with with friends, family friends. And for those are the days, and then that's where I picked up some. That's where I picked up learning about photography. Not formally. Kumbaga, my dad gave me a camera. Sabi niya, oh, this is how you measure the distance. And then, kasi sira
Uh,
yung viewfinder niya for measuring, for focusing.
Focusing.
And from that point, my dad just taught me sa sunod lang ako. Then eventually, I wanted to take a lot of pictures. Actually, nagsisi nga yung dad ko kasi every time kukuha ko, libre lang yung film eh. So, para ma-develop yun at that time.
Ay, yung old school pa na
Yeah,
kailangan
film
i-develop.
camera yun, yeah.
Yung
Hindi pa siya
camera.
DSLR, yung tipong nandito sa light side yung viewfinder mo, pero Anyway, uh, those were the years that actually that's I have fond memories of before my mom passed away because we'd normally go my best memories talaga are in the beach. Eh. So when people ask me where they want to go for vacation, my number one answer would always be the beach.
Beach.
And not because of fond memories. It's also playtime. Just wear your shorts, walang t-shirt, just go to stay in the cottage, go to the water, stay in the cottage. It's really um, a free flowing activity when you're there in the beach. And I
Agree,
guess more
agree.
than the beach, it's just memories of the family talaga. So
Yeah.
when I got older, sabi ko, having my own family was actually one of my dreams talaga. I
Mm.
never said it as a dream, pero now that you're asking me the question, that's where I'm going. That's where my mind goes. Eh.
You're visualizing kung anong itsura yan. No? And
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that, Architect. No? For those of you who's joining us today, ayan, kung makita mo, Architect, yung sa chat box natin, people are greeting you and inviting other people as well to join us. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's a Saturday evening. For most often than not, people would just relax dito pag ganito Saturday night, Architect. No? But the people
yeah.
who's joining us are sharing their insight in there. So just give them some hi, Architect.
Yes. Hello. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for being here.
Salamat, maraming salamat sa pag-join lahat. And
Yes.
we have
Salamat.
some coaches in there and so also some guests. Architect, kanina sabi mo, di ba nagbe-beach kayo? Beach is
Yeah.
something that you do. What is one food? If you're gonna think about, kasi pag nasa beach ka, di ba puros yun, chill-chill ka lang, tapos pagkain, tapos madaming mga booze or drinks and what have you. Ano yung pagkain na non-negotiable sa'yo na dapat andun lagi sa beach?
Pag beach, actually, di ako mapili. Pag beach, wala akong pakialam sa food eh. Kasi pag nasa beach, basta there's food, I'll eat. I guess I remember we'd always barbecue pag nandun eh. Madaming, we can cook our own food. So madalas mag-barbecue kami. But it's not really I think it's not the food kasi even, environmental planners, sasabihin ko, when we were kids, nag-spearfish kami dati. So, but it was still allowed during that time. So we used to spearfish. We eat our own catch. Sometimes we do fishing. We were doing fishing. Actually, seafood. Pag nasa beach, it's seafood and barbecue actually. Kasi yun yung kinakain namin eh. So these are the fun foods I have memories pagka ano. Pero if you're gonna ask me favorite food, and my wife knows it, it's sweet and sour pork.
Sweet and
Not
sour
because of
pork.
the beach. Yeah, not because of the beach, but when we were kids, my family would, my dad, my mom, and kami and sister ko, we would go to Manila, Binondo. Punta kami sa Tipinpin. It's Tipinpin restaurant. Then it's by, may ano yun eh, tabi ng creek yun eh. So, yung restaurant, that's where we order, Tipinpin, so sweet and sour pork.
Sweet and sour pork.
And, it's actually, hindi siya spectacular food eh. Pero for me, it's something that I look forward to pag Chinese restaurant. Pag inaya mo ako Chinese restaurant, pag hindi walang sweet and sour pork, parang, bite. Kahit may Peking
Disappointed.
duck, kahit may Peking duck yung, wala sweet and sour bit eh. So that's what I look for. It's connected to my childhood memory. So those are the fun times I had when I was younger.
Si Master E, ang favorite niya din yan yung ano na sweet and sour pork. Ah, Architect, ano ba yung fond memories na yan? Baka gusto mo i-share sa mga audience. What is it that's memorable about that food specifically? Like, what is the emotion like when that food is being served or even that opportunity for you? Kasi natitrigger yan, di pupunta ka ng Chinese
Mm.
restaurant, alam mo meron. What's the emotion like? What are you thinking?
Uh, well, it's mostly when I remember a lot of the times that we don't often go to a Chinese. Actually, paulit-ulit doon kami pupunta kasi siya, where do you want to go? Kakain kami. Sabihin, since sanay na kami, we would go there. I think it's the food. I like the food. The best for me, the best sweet and sour pork is the one that tastes like the same one when I was a kid. It's not because it tastes great, but it tastes similar to what I had when I was younger. Yun yung favorite ko na sweet and sour pork. And the memories that I have is kami. We have dinner together. We have It's always lunch. It's always Sunday lunch yun eh. So it's nothing spectacular, but it's memories na it's stuck in my brain. So it's there.
Yeah.
It's happy. Nothing really special about the event when we go there. It's just when we go out, we eat, and yeah, we're just having fun. Actually, you can even describe it as having fun. I think it's the image of kami complete. Eh. So that's one of the
Yeah.
things I treasure about that memory. Yeah.
Yung feeling of being complete is something that you're able to hold on to, and it's something that's reminding you of that food kahit saan ka kumain. Yun yung na ano do. Architect, kung may mga times na you feel down, you feel kasi di ba when you're working, I would think that in the line of work that you do, puros mga timelines to, no? May mga kailangan mong i-meet na
Yeah.
deadlines, kailangan ng commitment, kailangan ganito yung budget, and so on. I would think that the stress level there is way high dun sa mga mataas and extreme. During those times that is so stressful, parang pag minsan, pwede bang matapos na tong araw na to, ano yung comfort food mo that would help, allow you to just say na, hey, okay lang yan. Kaya pa to. Everything is well. And that just remind you na tomorrow is another day.
Well, aside from sweet and sour pork, actually yun eh. At saka, ngayon lately it's the adobo of my wife.
Ah.
Adobo
Ano
of
to?
my wife.
Adobo sa toyo? Adobo sa
Toyo,
asin?
yeah,
Anong klase?
it's
Sa
toyo,
toyo.
adobo sa toyo. Actually, I can do it the same way as my wife does. She taught me. So, And probably another one is, uh, when I don't, kasi I don't do stress eating eh. So, pero yung food that provides me good memories also is also, yung Filipino style na chili con carne. Yan. Yung,
Ah.
actually recreated it myself. Kasi it was one of the parang baon na I told my mom when I was in grade school. I think grade 2 yata or grade 1. My classmate may baon sa chili con carne. So, syempre, alam mo sa school, di ba, minsan yung lunch na nagtitikim. I think grade 3 yata yun kasi lunch na eh. So, yung sabihin whole day na pag grade 3 eh. So, tinikman ko, I liked it. And I told my mom it's pork and beans with ground, may giniling, tapos parang,
Yeah.
kulay na sauce. Basta sinabi ko, it's sweet. Sabi niya gano'n. So, ni-replicate, obviously, na-replicate ng mom, nakuha ng mom. Because ever since noon, when I request that, she would normally cook that. More often than yung isa pang favorite ko na shrimp. Parang it's beef steak. Imbis na beef, change it with shrimp. Pero actually, it's the same
Ah.
thing. Shrimp talaga. Ayaw sa akin pakain ng mom ko yun kasi nangangati yung throat ko. May allergy ako
May
sa shrimp when I
allergies
was
ka.
younger. Yeah.
Even now sa seafood, hindi. May allergy pa rin.
Well, I don't have the same reaction. I think it was one time severe. Severe na would be, nag-start mangate, yun yung severe na. I have allergies, but yung sa shrimp na wala na rin siya. But I think there are times when I'm irritated, or mababa immune system ko, yun, nag-i-itch yung throat
Yun,
ko.
nagtitrigger siya.
Pero
Yeah,
it's
thank you,
not the
Architect.
same as before, yeah.
compared before. Ito medyo okay, manageable na. Yan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Architect. For those of you who's joining us, ay pinag-usapan po namin ni Architect ay pagkain. For me, specifically, food is something that, sabi nga ng mga, pag kumakain ako, Coach, bakit parang pag kumakain ka, parang ang sarap ng kain mo? Parang gusto ko din kumain na mas madami. That's because it's connected to a memory that I have as well with my mom, and I'm able to connect with you. Iba kasi yung luto ng ng nanay, di ba? Yung pagmamahal ka, na-feel mo talaga ng pag kinakain mo, naaalala mo siya. And those are the fun little things that, I super appreciate. Architect, pag-usapan natin yung profession mo as an architect. Yan. Ganda ng to eh. It's something that, not a lot of people, for me specifically, I seldom meet people like you who has this passion for this profession, and also the way that you're seeing things. Tell us about your profession as an architect, and also the passion that you've shared. For those of you siguro for those of you watching, nakita niyo yung ad namin. I put in there kung ano yung ginagawa ni Architect Paolo. Architect, share mo sa kanila, ano ba yung trabaho mo? Ano ba yung ginagawa mong kakaiba?
Well, ano lang. So to describe na lang, obviously, in one time or another, we've, I guess everybody, or most people has encountered an architect, or has worked with an architect, or has engaged an architect for a project,
Sa bahay usually, no?
Yeah. Most people talaga ang exposure nila sa bahay. If you're in corporate and you're doing big structures, it's either you work for a corporate company, you're doing the building, or you're involved in retail, For me, kasi my practice as an architect when I started way back in 89, I finished school in UST. My dream was actually to be just like my dad. Kasi parang, when I was a kid, as I grew up, kasi I was exposed to my dad designing and drawing. So at a young age, I already understood how to read the floor plan. And I could visualize it in 3D. Kumbaga, I can see the floor, and then I could visualize the walls already. When he tells me, it's like a dollhouse. Actually, description niya sa akin nung pala, parang dollhouse eh. So, I already knew what that curvy line, and then that line there, that's the swing of the door. Sabi kong gano'n. I knew those things. It was a little bit intuitive, but I never really wanted to be one. I just wanted to do what my dad was doing. He was drawing it. That's all I wanted to do. So, but as an architect, the practice for me is basically, and I would always say this, especially when I was teaching both in UST, I taught back in my alma mater, early 2000. And then when I came back from the States, after working for 5 years, I came back, I taught naman in College of St. Benilde, School of Design and Arts. So I taught in the architecture program. Both times, I always tell my students, when you design, you're designing for people. You're not designing for visual appeal. Kasi madalas, it's all about aesthetics eh.
Yeah.
And what does it look like? Does it look great? I had it ingrained in me. My dad didn't push it pero when he was telling me, well, of course, when I understood it, when I was studying already, so when you're designing, you design the space, make it appropriate for the purpose that you're creating the space for. And not to quote, famous architects, but yung sa kanya yung form follows function is really important. And nung una hindi ko maintindihan what the heck is form follows function. So the form of the building can be derived from the function. Not sa kanya, not the other way around. Of course, there are the architects who design, they create the form first. Actually, may classmates ako eh. Inuuna mo na yung perspective bago gawin yung plano. So they're pretty successful also. Sa akin kasi yung approach ko is it's the same thing that my dad taught me. It's like when you create something, create it for the people that you're designing it for. It's really not for you. I mean, it's not for you. It's for the people who's going to use the space. He didn't say it in that direct context, pero yung pag sabi niya, wag kang gagawa. Well, I don't know if my dad taught me this, but I heard that term before. Wag kang gagawa ng sculptures. Yung sculpture, tinitignan yan, ina-appreciate mo yan.
Hindi na function. Oo.
Kung maganda yung building, di magamit, sculpture yun. But my dad didn't quote me that. I think what he said was, make sure it's something that people can appreciate and use.
Yeah, it's something usable, and sabi mo nga functional nga.
Yeah. And then as I grew into the career while I was working, because I never started in an architectural firm. I started in construction. Eh. So
Mm.
my first foray in the industry was construction. So um, I spent around eight years with big. I spent 8 years with DM Consumi. So I was luckily enough to be exposed in well, uh, known projects or big projects. Kasi pag
Mm.
malaki yung contractor, swerte ka, you get exposed in big projects. I was lucky, but even before that, my dad was always telling me, if you're design, kasi ano yan eh, sabi niya, may nagpatulong sa akin cousin, papagawa ng plano. For thesis lang niya. So, ako naman, tulong naman, gawa naman akong plano, helping out the cousin. But when he looked at the plan, sabi niya, oh, why don't you put a window? Sabi niya, hindi dad, pang thesis lang naman yan. Hindi naman pag-aaralan ng teacher yan. No, if you're designing something, make sure that it's something that is functional. Kumbaga,
Mm.
gagawa ka ng kwarto, walang bintana. Ano ba naman yan? Sabi niya. Ganyan. Tapos, he was explaining, don't design something, just don't treat it as something that you take for granted just because it's not going to be used for practical purposes talaga. Or it's not going to be an actual project. I mean, it's not because he's saying treat every project as a real project or uh, do your best in smaller, big stuff. Ang sinasabi niya, when you're designing, design. Just
Yeah.
don't create and then uh, gauge or calibrate your efforts kasi hindi naman siya gagamitin for real stuff. Um, that's what I got from my dad. Yung ano, it's not these stuff I learned naman from him are not groundbreaking nor they ano. Probably I could have learned them from other people also. Pero
Mm.
because he was also passionate about the profession. He wanted to be not not the best, but he wanted to give his creative ideas
Yeah.
purpose talaga. Sa kanya kasi yung
Mm.
purpose important. Eh. That's what
Mm.
that's what that's what he told. Well, that's what he not imparted, but that's what he actually wanted to share with me at the time.
Yeah. Deep
Nothing
behind
indirect.
with you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then eventually, I know uh, I got the flame of designing for understanding about our weather and then understanding kasi I had this early phase before I graduated. I was shunning the American structures, ba't ganda-ganda nila, tapos hindi natin gawin dito, when I see it naman, hindi nga applicable dito. When I started construction, I realized, tara hindi applicable dito. Pinagpipili na lang natin.
Pina-force talaga na ganito itsura, no?
Oh, and we spend so much money just to make it look the same way. At the end of the day, yeah, it looks great, but you spend tons of money just to to cool the building, di ba? Because even if you design it with all the best orientation in the world, that's the reason why we have longer eaves in the Philippines because we want to block the
Mm.
sun. So our building should actually work the same way. Sabihin nila, no, we'll use high performance glass, da 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 da. I mean, these are expensive stuff. You can get away with adapting to the environment. And I'm very much towards that. Of course, that's not mainstream. But if the client tells me they want it that way, then fine, I'll design it.
You'll do
I'll,
it, no?
yeah, I'll tell them the consequence. Obviously, mahal yan, ganyan, ganyan. So,
Uh,
kanya-kanyang approach
Ar-
yun. Eh.
Architect, sharing with you the learnings that you have with your father, tsaka yung mga natututunan mo ngayon as an architect and also in the profession that you have. How are you able to use all of these learnings? Yung naturo sa'yo ng tatay mo. Ang daming wisdom na na-share mo kanina eh. I think a lot of people will be able to, really appreciate that. How are you able to utilize the things that you've learned at work and the legacy, yung mga memories na binigay sa'yo ng tatay mo in your relationship? When I say your relationship mo sa asawa mo, relationship mo
Mhm.
sa anak mo, a relationship mo sa family. How are you able to utilize this learning
Yeah,
towards, relationship building?
I have one. People who know me know the story. Eh. Well, at least people who know me that worked with me in the MCI, they know the story. ano ko, I don't wake up early. I'm really late. So I'm always, imagine mo, job site, 7 o'clock, dapat nandun ka na. Dating dyan, 7:30, 7:40, 8 o'clock. So ginagawa ko, ino-offset ko nila yung oras ko. Honestly, I don't, talagang, I'm a night person and I justify the reason why I am a night. That's why I'm late because I'm a night person. I keep justifying it. But
Mm.
one thing I learned from that, from work is, and this is true, nasa job site na ako, parang late pa rin ako pumapasok. Nakakaya talaga. Andun ka na nga natutulog, late ka pa rin pumapasok. Kasi kasi yun, late talaga, wala na nga ginagawa. You're not watching TV, kaharap mo lang computer, so sometimes I just the computer, wala naman games na, yung iba, may games na naman, it's not worth playing naman. So you
Ah,
end up just wasting time, and then tutulog ka na late, gano'n. And then eventually gising ako. Hindi talaga ako magising walang, para akong mantika ako matulog. So there there was one time sinabi na nga na yung boss ko, sabi niya, ano ba naman, dito ako na nga natutulog, late ka pa. Tapos yung mga barkada ko doon, talaga inaalas-ka ako. And the close friends I had, they're not in the job site, they're in another job site. Paolo, ano ba yan? Diyan ka na nga natutulog, late ka pa magising. And then, what did I learn? I learned not only responsibility and trying to impart the sense of responsibility, but also one thing I learned, because I had the mentor, he's still my mentor. He's
mm,
actually ninong namin ng wife ko, ni Cinch, sa kasal. So
mm, mm.
I intentionally got him because I look up to him, and when I left the academy, I worked for him. I worked for him. I said I had to go back in the industry and learn again construction, because I was so ingrained on the owner side. So I had to learn.
Yeah.
And why am I talking about him? His name is actually Engineer Danny Mancita. And
Oh, hello po.
I'm
Gusto ko
yeah,
nanonood siya.
yeah. I'm not ashamed to say na, hey, that's what happened to me. Actually, it's a funny thing about it. Nakakatawa, pero nakakatawa. But he had so much compassion. And
Compassion.
ang ano niya is, I guess compassion, kasi kahit na palpak ka na nga alaskain ka. Pero he will not, he always gave me an opportunity to rise above. He gave me an
No.
opportunity to transcend or to
Uh-uh.
become better. It's not the job, we talked about this before, I also did life coaching in a different context, but
Yeah.
yung be able to become a better person, be the better
Yeah.
version of myself. He actually had a strong influence in that. Well, of course, especially when my dad passed away in 2003. Of course, when I worked for him, I think ko talaga siya parang dad ko na rin talaga.
Oo.
Physically, they don't look the
Someone to
same.
look up to, no?
Yeah,
Oo.
yeah. And
Oo.
I did for the longest time. I was involved in Makati Shangri-La. He was actually my mentor there. And then when I moved to Ayala Triangle, the Philippine Stock Exchange with the gigantic arch, he was also my mentor there. So I was lucky enough to be under him. Pero yung patience niya, yan. I think I learned a lot of patience also from him talaga. It's indirect Pero yung compassion, sabi ko, grabe, no? Ang dami ko nang ginagawang kalokohan dito. Bait pa rin sa
Yun pa
akin
rin.
yung boss ko.
Iniintindi ka pa rin.
Oh yeah, actually, and there are times na minsan, I realized somewhere in the middle, while we were working in Ayala Triangle, I realized he was also living in the same place where I used to. He lives in Better Living. So I thought siyempre nalaman ko one time, sabi niya, "Oh, Paolo, taga Better Living ka pala. Sabay ka na sa akin." Siyempre yung unang aya niya, nag-iisip kasi sabay ka ba? Baka sermonan ako nito mula umpisa hanggang dulo.
Mahirap na.
Hindi
Baka
naman.
pag-uwi mo, maayos naman yung ending. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Architect. Architect, I'm gonna show you a picture. But of course, tingnan mo muna tayo. Show natin yung first picture. And what I would like for you to, take a look at this picture. And kanina sabi mo compassion, di ba? Yung mentor mo, compassion is something that has taught to you. Take a look at, reflect on how that compassion, the learning from you and being compassionate has influenced your family and your children. So afterwards, magbe-break muna tayo. We'll just have a few minutes break. Then we'll get back to this picture and tell us, ano ba yung compassion sa iyo as a man and a head of a family and a father of the family. So we'll be back in a little while.
Okay.
As a business owner, are you overwhelmed by the need to post beautiful, engaging content every single day? Are you left wondering what to write? Tired of scrolling through stock photos that all start to look the same? Confused by complicated graphic design programs? Rise Up Creatives is here to help. Each month, we give you everything you need to create 31 days of social media content in just 5 minutes a day. Customizable captions, curated lifestyle photos, a drag-and-drop graphic design tool, and the ability to post directly to your social media accounts. No one else empowers you with these 4 resources all in one place. Each month, we help you plan your social media calendar by providing you with 31 image themes and customizable captions so you can quickly and easily create engaging content and grow your following. Simply select the image that works best for your feed or story. Then, copy the caption and customize it to fit your audience. 5 minutes a day. It's that quick. Plus, you'll absolutely love our drag-and-drop graphic design tool. Start from scratch or choose one of our beautiful templates to fit your unique brand. When you're ready to export your design, you can download, email, or post directly to your social media accounts. Here's the truth. Our world needs what you have to offer. Don't let technology or procrastination hold you back. Rise Up Creatives is more than an online resource. We're a community helping you overcome your biggest barriers to reach your greatest goals. We're here to help you rise up and be creative.
If you have just joined us back, we are talking to architect Paolo Vicencio from the city of Manila. And we're back for a second part of our third broadcast brought to you by Decap Copy Republic. O sabi nga si Coach Lin, nasa Decap Copy Republic sila ngayon. The coaching hub of Life Coach Philippines and Rise Up Creatives Worldwide, your provider of social commerce turnkey solution. If you are not yet a smart holder of the B-Learning e-card and you're still missing on the perks that we are enjoying, today is the best time for you to take action. Connect with Coach Yourself through 0917-586-1661 to join the B-Learning Society. It's a tent maker of the B-Learning home for mental fitness. What you will get out of this if you take advantage of it, of course, you're going to supporting us every single month in the passion project of Master Coach A, which is the B-Learning Society. Think about this passion project as a way for us to build that halfway house. We're wanting to create a halfway house for people if they want to start healing, if you want to start to, heal from past wounds, if they want to be in a space in which it's safe for them to express themselves and be themselves and to just be the person that they are. This is what we are building in here. And if you continue to help us support us every single month, you get a 5% food and beverage discount from Decap Copy Republic. You get a full access to the Mental Model Masterclass by Master Coach A, happening every fourth Saturday of the month, plus the benefit from the 90-minute free coaching session with senior coaches from Life Coach Philippines. And today, katatapos lang namin kanina, we recently concluded and learned about the Elon Musk Mental Model Mastery. And I tell you, it's a powerful experience. I got reminded of the first principle that Elon Musk was utilizing. It's a mental model. Mental model, think of mental models as the way, a construct of how you see things, how you process things, how you make decisions. That is what mental model is all about. And that's what we've learned today. Stay tuned for next month's mental model as Master Coach A continues to teach us all of these concepts and constructs that you can use so that you can integrate your work life and you can make the work far enjoyable and far, of course, simple rather than complicated. For more information and registration assistance, connect with Coach Yourself to 0917-586-1661. Also, if you are interested to embark on the journey of becoming a professional life coach, Master Coach A offers a co-actively co-create life coach certification program with CPD accreditation of 40 CPD units, and life coaching is a 21st century learning experience that is empowering professionals to enhance their skills, in multiple domains and thereby increasing their relevance in an increasingly complex workplace. CACC course is you see in the screen in there. That is all of the benefits that you will be getting in there. You get a 21-day web-based learning, 3-day live coaching bootcamp, Master Coach A, and a 3-day live business bootcamp with senior coaching team. The program package also comes with many other bonuses. Connect with Coach Yourself to 0917-586-1661 to discover opportunities waiting for you in this profession. Now, if you wanna know more or watch the replay, the replay or the recording of the Elon Musk mental model, please let us know. Message Coach Rizal at 0917-586-1661 so that we can give you and we can help you out on how you can gather or get a copy of the recording. All right? Yon, thank you very much for joining me. We're gonna have Architect back in the screen and have a further conversation. Architect Paolo, yeah. But before we do that, mamaya, sabi ko kanina, titingnan natin yung picture kanina and talk about compassion. Pero before you do that, magra-rapid fire questions muna tayo, Architect. I'm gonna ask you 7 questions. First thing that comes to mind, answer yon. Walang tama, walang mali dito. Ayan, may nagka-hi sa'yo, si Natalia.
One of my friends, actually, Daniel.
Ayun. Thank you for joining us. Please share this video so other people could also learn and get to know Architect Paolo. Okay, ready ka na, Architect? 7 questions, rapid fire questions. Okay, first question. How do you start your day?
Coffee.
Coffee. What's the weirdest thing that you own?
Wow, weirdest thing. Ngayon ko lang naisip, wala yata ako weirdest thing that I own.
What's one of the most fun childhood memories you have?
Well, yun, going back, family time sa beach, actually.
Family time sa beach. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give your young self?
To my young self, actually, is talk to both my parents more often rather than just playing, actually.
Thank you, Architect. Number 5, what would you change about yourself?
Wow. Being more patient.
Being more patient. Thank you, Architect. Number 6, what scares you?
People knowing who I really am.
People knowing who you are. Number 7, last but not the least, what is your personal goal?
Just to leave a legacy talaga before I leave this earth. Actually, to leave something for not only my family but also for mankind, actually.
For other people, future generations, leaving a legacy. Architect Paolo, thank you very much for that. That's our rapid fire questions. Thank you for being a good sport. Balik natin yung image kanina of that picture and talk about compassion, Architect Paolo. Paint a picture of what this picture image represents to you and how learning of compassion has brought you to this.
Well, I do remember this photo. It was taken. So, but when I talk about compassion, it's actually something that I remind myself all the time. So as I said, I lack patience, and in fact, it's rather than me giving compassion, it's me being aware about how to be compassionate. It's actually how my family is also to me. More often than not, I receive compassion from them rather than them receiving compassion from me. But then that's where I see their patience and their love for me. And then it goes back and ano ba to? Kasi when I talk about compassion, it's really not me the one giving compassion. It's always it's my awareness of what I need to change in myself all the time. I know that I'm short, so I am happy that they're compassionate towards me. And when I have the time, I always let them know how much I love my family, how much I love them. Ano nga ako para akong para ako ano eh, parang tawag mo doon, parang sala ka sa init, sala ka sa lamig. Pero uh, I'm both ends of the same coin. I'm both sides of the same coin. Eh. So, di ba, I
Mm,
have this side and the other side, and I easily flip from one side to another. More often than not, ano, because of my shortness of patience, my temper, yun, it
mm,
catches people, ano, it catches people off guard, or sa family, it becomes a source of friction. But then, I try to come back and then ask for the forgiveness and then compassion. The compassion, actually not from me, it's actually from them. And then understanding, and then coming back, and then it allows ourselves to be able to build a better relationship. It's not nothing's
oo,
perfect actually. When I when I think about it right now, when I think about it, I don't know, we don't have a perfect family. And I know impossible that there is a perfect family. Sometimes that's what I want to happen, but I am
agree.
glad that my kids are still with me. I mean, we live together pa rin. Malapit na yung araw na hihiwalay na yung isa. But as much time as the pandemic has actually tested how patient we could be with each other.
True,
We're
true.
here every day together with each other, and I know where my shortcomings are, and sabi ko, compassion talaga is something that I have to go back to. In fact, in what I went through in my own when I was a student for a coaching program, one of the
Mm,
things I used as I had a declaration when I started was I am a passionate and a compassionate man. So I'm still driven by my passion, but I know I have to be more compassionate. Eh. So that was my shield at the time. That was my first known declaration. It was what I used to push myself forward to be a better person.
mm. Yun ang ano, no, I can connect with you in that. One of the things that I think innate to sa mga lalaki, no, na sometimes we can be very very cerebral, yung
Hmm.
technical, problem solving. Pag may issue agad, pag may problema, di ba yung pamilya, anong gagawin na problem solving
Yeah,
mode na agad tayo and so on. So wala yung the need to connect na it's okay, di ba? You be
yeah.
compassionate about it. Kasi nagpa-problem solving na. And for those of you who's joining, especially for the women out there, no? Pag yung mga asawang nyo parang pag sinabihan nyo, nag-share sa'yo ng kwento, tapos medyo hindi naging emotional, hindi nakapag-connect sa'yo, huwag kayong magalit, ha? Yung iba kasing asawa na nagagalit, kalma lang, kalma. Ganun lang talaga kami pinalaki. While we understand, madali kasi tayo mag-switch, architect, no? Pag nakakita natin, na-feel na natin, teka, may emotions na, flip side na muna tayo mag-problem solving na. Kasi yun nga, the way that we are raised. So that is something that I'm totally able to connect with you. Architect Paolo, itong next image na to, kanina you talk about patience, no, and compassion and being reminded. How has this, two wonderful human beings changed you as a man, di ba? As a son and as an individual?
Well, vividly kasi I remember the day my son was born. Eh. It's not, there are so many things that happened during that day. Pero everything changed when, of course, when he got born. Your first child will change the way you live. Eh.
Yeah.
And I remember that day, and we were about to watch a TV series kami ng wife ko. So, handa na ako, I set my stuff. Beeper pa nun eh. Tinabi ko na yung beeper ko. And then, handa
Beeper
na yung junk
150.
food. Oh, handa ako na yung junk food. Manunod kami. We were gonna watch a TV series. I remember that was Grey's Anatomy. So, kaupo ko pa lang ng gano'n sa bed. Kaupo ko pa lang. Kabubukas ko pa rin ng potato chips. Bigla, nag-break yata yung water ko. Sabi niya gano'n. Sabi ng wife ko. Ay, sabi ko, what? Para ako nag-panic at the same time excited. Kasi parang tagal-tagal na namin nag-aantay eh. So then we went to the hospital. So it was, she was in labor. I was alone in the room, just waiting. Walang nangyayari. Hindi kami yung tipo pwede ako pumunta dun sa ano eh. But as I, when finally when my son was born and I was able to see him in the nursery,
Yeah.
I know my son's not gonna like every time I say that, he goes, oh. He goes, pero ano, when I saw him, sabi ko, it's like mini me. I saw myself. Ganun. Pero I was really amazed na, wow, talaga, no? I have a son na pala. And there were some people would say, no, parang I was slightly afraid na, nako, palalakihin ko pala to, no? That's what I actually went through my mind. But I was also very happy to see him. I was happy to see John. And then 5 years later, here comes Patis, my daughter. And they're so close to each other actually today. Magkakampihan eh. Minsan may sasabihin ako, pag hindi agree yung isa sa akin, pareho sila, hindi na sila.
Kampi yung isa.
Lugi ako sa kanila pag sila dalawa nag-uusap. Or sila magkakampi. But, they changed the way I looked at myself. At the onset, I still wanted, sabi ko nga, labas pa rin ako na labas, I go out with friends. But when I'm at home, I wasn't that kind of dad that spent a lot of time playing, Pero when I was
Okay.
at home, at the time, I spent a little bit, doon niya, kaya yata naging computer addict yung anak ko kasi I played computer games. I'll make him sit beside me. Tapos mommy was playing the same game I'm playing. So, yun yung mga times that I cherish. And, both of them make me proud. Not because they're intelligent, but I guess it's more of like si John, he's matalino siya, pero yung talent niya, he takes after my dad. As an artist, he's very artistic talaga. He has this creative talent that honestly, he has more than my dad and myself brought together. So, magaling siya.
Parang binuho sa kanya lahat.
Parang na-skip sa akin, napunta na sa kanya. Ako, nangungope lang ako, parang gano'n na dito. Parang hanggang vision and inspiration lang ako, inspired lang ako. My daughter naman, she's driven by, masipag mag-aral. I think she has the same ugali that I have. Yung, kaya ko naman yan eh. Mag-aaral, magkakram ako. Pero actually, if I really put my head into it, I can do a lot better. Pero I can get away with little study. Ganun. Actually, pareho naman sila eh. But I like my daughter, she's taking up a life master ko. Magaling ako sa math, pero mas magaling siya sa math talaga. And
Kakaiba nga yung kurso.
Yeah. Both of them actually changed. They changed as they were growing different stages in our life. Kasi, especially when we moved to the States. We moved to the States where intention was to migrate. And I saw them living differently. Of course, assimilating dun sa American way of life. So, I was, how would I put it? I felt like he's gonna miss out going to a big school. Dito, puro maliliit yung school. Pero, they're not gonna miss out because alam ko naman life is different. And in the States, but the experiences that they have are things that I remember. I remember how close we were also in the States. Kasi kami lang talaga eh. We had friends, but we stuck with each other. And then the difficulty of seeing my son that we had to go back home to the Philippines after 5 years because of the housing crisis in the US. There was one. So we didn't have a car anymore. We were staying with friends. We were about 3-4 days away going home na. And he wanted to visit his friends in school, which was around a 15-20 minute walk. So he walked to the school. Pagdating niya dun sa fence, he was describing na nakaganon siya, hindi siya makapasok. Siyempre, he's not in school. He was waiting for his friends from break. Parang nakakaawa. But at the end, a lot of their experiences, they don't know it. Actually, I think kids naman don't think that the parents don't realize that they're affected. I am affected when of course, lahat naman ng parents, when you see your kids hurt, you hurt. When you see them succeed, you feel so proud. Malakas na ako mga Alaska sa mga anak ko. So, ganun talaga. My personality, talaga mga Alaska ako. To deflect. Alam mo to deflect.
Yung emotions ba?
Yeah. Not the emotion pero rather than ako but it ends up ako rin na na-Alaska So, at the end of the day, it doesn't really work Malakas lang ako mang-asar. So, mga-asar na.
Mang-asar.
Yeah.
Mabalik pa rin. Thank you, Architect. Architect, ito, this image, I was stalking you. Yung mga guest ko, ini-stalk ko sila sa social media. And the reason, bakit sama na ko ato ni Coach, ini-stalk ko kayo. Tinta ko kayo ng mga picture. Ito, Architect, this one, nung nakita ko to, I really found something in there, and tingnan mo na lang to, architect, and paint a picture of this image to us. Yun yung next na ipapakita natin.
Oh, yeah. This this is the Manila Cathedral. It was done by my dad. This was a year before he passed away. This actually was part of the last exhibit. It was supposed to be the second exhibit I was putting up for him, but he passed away. So I posthumously ran the exhibit for him, actually. This watercolor, this is my dad's one of the last works of my dad. He had the Manila series. So he was doing a lot of watercolor from Manila. In Manila, he was involved with an artistic a group of artists that do watercolor. Or they call themselves the watercolorists. This was his passion before he passed away, and he did over 300 watercolor paintings. When I see this, when I see his work, actually, it reminds me of kumbaga, it's like when it's like an athlete, diba? When you're in the zone, you don't hear
Yeah.
anything around you. You're just focused on what you're doing. Yeah, I see my dad when I was young, and we have this watercolor painting in it's in uh it's in my sister's. It's actually our home. It's our ancestral home. In Better Living. Yung
Mm.
it's the beach in Matabungkay. It's one of the first watercolor that I saw him do from start to finish. It's actually just a painting of Matabungkay. But
Mm.
there were so many dynamic stuff in the painting. I knew that my dad. When I see him work, actually it's not working.
Yeah.
When I see him doing his art, talaga you can see him lost in the world of what he's doing. Talagang
Naka-flow. Flow
yeah, it's just
state. Yeah.
his fashion his passion has driven him to be in the zone talaga. And I don't
Yeah.
want to call it like parang athlete na talagang focus. It's like he's enjoying what he's doing. He gets lost into it talaga. He's drowned into
Mm.
that world. And this watercolor painting is actually a transition. Hindi naman ito yung unang transition niya, pero one of the transition works niya was the Manila City Hall, where it's very very it's not realistic. In short, it's more like
Mm.
the same thing. This one is a mixture of a little realism and impressionistic. So he
Yeah.
got that. He transitioned from that, and this was the time that he got hospitalized na before this one.
Mm.
So it was a year before he got hospital. A year before he was hospitalized. He had an exhibit also. I think it was 2000 yata. The first one that
Yeah.
we had. So when I see this, it's not about the church I see. I remember my dad. I
Yung
see yung
dad.
passion niya. I see
Oo.
him. I see how much he enjoys what he does talaga.
Yun talaga yung no, yung memory that is really the father. Architect Paolo, if you're given an opportunity to talk to your mom and to your dad, what would you tell them right now? All of the things that you've learned that if you realize in life.
Ako, ano na to, although na-let go ko na to, na-let go ko na. Unahin ko muna yung dad ko. I was able to let this go way back when I had my life coaching journey as a student.
Mm-mm.
So I was the to ask forgiveness. Actually, I'll ask forgiveness again to my dad. But this time around, I already know that he would. I was able to let it go. But I'd ask him not ask him. I'd tell him that uh, I was tired, and I apologized for being short to him in the last
Yeah.
few days where he was in the hospital. No, before he lost his his consciousness talaga.
Yeah.
And that's with my dad. I'll ask forgiveness from him. But
Yeah.
I know also I'll ask a few other stuff. I've asked my dad. So how do you actually gusto kong tanongin sa kanya how he does the watercolor. That's what I would ask him. And then joking aside, it sounds funny pero gusto ko malaman ulit yung sino yung kamag-anak namin and yung mga kamag-anak sa mom side ko. Kilala niya yung mother side ko. And then from my mom naman, if I get to talk to her, siguro probably uh, I would also say sorry kasi sometimes I have more. Of course, My mom passed away. I was 14. Eh. My dad passed away. It's
Yeah.
already what? I was 50. I was 38 when my dad passed away.
Mm.
So there's a big
Uh,
number of years I spent more with my dad than with my mom. You know, I was
yeah.
mama's boy ako eh. But I spent more time with my dad. So my my personal or my identity, I identify closer to my dad. Although when I was younger, you know, with kakampi ko mom ko kasi mainit nga ulo ng dad ko. Eh. So he's short. I got it from him. He's short.
Yeah.
His temper is short talaga. So um but I would always tell my mom, you know, I would ask her other stuff that I forgot already about her.
Mm.
Like I don't even remember her. I don't remember stories about me as a child from her. Eh. Uh,
Yeah.
she used to tell some stories, but you know, I forgot them. Eh. I didn't. I'd like her to. Siguro what I would ask my mom is, are you siguro are you proud? Kasi
Yeah.
dad ko I saw he was proud of me. Eh. Tatanungin ko na yung mom ko. Or kung natutuwa siya sa
Yeah.
ano, sa dalawang apo niya, yun. She never got
Yeah.
to see them. My dad got to see both my kids, and I think one of the most cherished possession I have is my daughter's. No, my dad's work, my watercolor of my daughter when she was, I think she was around 2 years old. She did the
Yeah.
watercolor for me. I mean, he painted the watercolor portrait of my daughter. Nung ano. I don't know, it was just from photograph, and then he painted it. Whatever all the other stuff, when I see that, I remember he did that because ano syempre mahal niya yung apo niya.
Yeah. True. Ayun yung mga fun memories, and I do appreciate that. Thank you for the vulnerability,
Oh
Architect
yeah.
Paolo. Oh, yan kasi ako, yun din yung ko din kay mom ko and my dad eh. It's something na yun din alam mo yan na kapag connect ako sa yung patience kasi yun issue ko din yan. Yung impatience na parang maliit yung PC, and then that is something that I do appreciate, and I'm thankful kasi yung life coaching talaga, Architect, na nakakapagbago ng buhay talaga itong
Yeah.
life coaching na to eh. When you go through the process, you're able to understand it, you're able to reflect. It just makes you more, term ko to, more of a human being. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, as human beings, especially for the men out there, hey, your emotions, emotions are good. It's an
Mm.
indicator. It's just, if you know a cluster gauge of a vehicle, it's an indicator that you need to do something. It can be,
Mhm.
people would say that emotions are bad. There are bad emotions and good emotions. I tell you, all emotions are good. It's just the way that you respond to it. That is a challenge. That is
Mhm.
something that we're helping you out in here na kaya niyo naman i-manage yung mga emotions na lang, yung patience na yan. Mga lalaki, kaya natin yan o kaya nang improve yan. Architect Paolo, what is integration to you?
It's bringing things for me to go off. The simplest understanding I have is just bringing things together. It's
Yeah.
almost the same as collaboration, integration.
Thank you.
That's what. That's what. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. That's what.
Actually, that's how I see integration. Eh. So when you bring stuff together and then you create something better or something new, it's a result. It's a result of integration. Eh. Bringing ideas, bringing concepts, or just bringing stuff together and
Together.
then coming up with something new.
Thank you, Architect Paolo. Alam mo, madami pa tayong pwede pag-usapan. No? Nag-isang oras na tayo dito. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much for joining us. And ito, lagi kong tinatanong to sa mga guests ko. Final words, Architect. 3 tips for the people, for all those watching, especially for the men out there. 3 tips to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. What are your 3 tips?
Well, first one is find something that makes you happy. I didn't it wasn't something that I learned from it's something that I realized I heard it from somebody else, but find something that makes you happy because if you keep again, life is short, no? You don't want to do something that doesn't make you happy. If just one thing, just when I see my son, and then sabi ko, you have to be like this, you have to be like that. I
Yeah.
know what makes him happy. It's different from what I want to be. So really find something that makes you happy. And then I think
Number
second
2.
is allow yourself. I, I allow myself to be vulnerable. Eh. So that's one thing I learned. Vulnerable that and we all know what that means naman. It's really not being weak, but allowing ourselves to be open and
Yeah.
close to our emotions.
Mm.
I'm glad I was able to get to that point because before that, um, it was hard to explain what was going on. Eh. So,
True, true.
and I guess the last thing is don't stop dreaming.
Yeah.
Um, if you stop dreaming, kasi for me, ganito, I love the reason why I love teaching before. I thought kasi gusto the reason why I wanted to teach was when I was working in the MCI, we had some UST grads working. Sabi ko, ganito ba tinuturo nila sa UST? And then eventually I got the opportunity to teach. And I said,
Yeah.
tuturuan ko sila to be better in construction. Yeah, I was. But,
Mm.
one of the things I never stopped doing was, or teaching was, letting them find an opportunity to dream,
Yeah.
create something. And then that's one thing that my dad also told me when I was in school. Sabi niya, do not control your creativity just because you have to do something to deliver something as an output. Remember that school is an opportunity for you to create something that you dream of. And
Yeah.
then when you get out in the real world, sabi nga niya, baka hindi mo na magawa yan eh. Kaya nga naman, ako naman, I tell my student, well, I used to tell my students that, not all of them, but I always say that, and at the end, I say, when you get out there, the world is cruel. Eventually, you won't be able to practice anything that you learned naman from here. Eh. But don't
Yeah.
forget na there's always an opportunity for you to create something from yourself. It's not directly telling them that don't stop dreaming, but your opportunity to create your own future is there. Eh. The only
Mm.
reason you're not going to achieve it is because you didn't dream it and you didn't go after it. Yun lang naman yun eh. So, for those who feel like, bakit hindi ako ganon? Kasi, although you haven't dreamed enough or you haven't gone after your dream. So, of course, obviously, when you dream it, try to go after it. Yun lang naman yun.
O do something about it kaysa magdi-dream, di ba?
Oo.
Dream without a goal is just a dream.
Oo, daydreaming
Thank
na
you.
lang talaga yun.
Dreaming na lang. Thank you, Architect Paolo. Architect
Thank
Paolo,
you.
tell the audience where can they contact you, especially your business. We'll share to you some of your business in here. Paano ka ba mako-contact nila if they need support in architecture and design?
Well, Page Architecture and Design is an architectural and planning firm. Our our goal is actually not actually our goal. It's our we call it our MTP, major transformational purpose. It's like a
Mhm.
vision. It's creating the Filipino dream. Whether you are a client, you are a supplier, you're another consultant that we work with, people we serve. We want to be part of creating that dream for you as a Filipino.
Yeah.
So you can contact us. You can contact us through our webpage. We have our website is pagearchitecture.ph. We are on Facebook as well, Page Architecture and Design. We have Instagram. We're also in LinkedIn. We also have a YouTube channel. But of course, best place is just to contact us through our webpage. And one of the stuff pala, if you want to create your own dream house, if
Mhm.
you visit our website, we have a budget calculator. We call it our service calculator. It allows you to uh, define the parameters of your house and then come up with a budget. So it's short, like you're talking with an architect, pero you don't need the architect to be there. You'll be defining your own
Yeah.
space, how many rooms, how big the rooms are going to be, and at the end result will be you choosing the quality. And then if and after that, it will provide you a ballpark budget, not an estimate, but
Mhm.
a budget more or less of what you need to prepare. Okay. So it gives you an
Awesome.
opportunity to not design, but to create the requirements for your dream house. Actually, visit the
All
website, you'll
right.
see it there. Yeah.
Just visit the website in there. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. We will connect with you with Architect Paolo. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much,
you.
Architect, for the time. Thank you, everyone, for supporting Integrate. And whether you are joining us live or going to be watching this in the future on the replay, please do leave a comment in there. Circulate this link and then video. And don't keep us a secret. Share this video. I invite you as well to watch the other shows hosted here at TikTok Broadcast. Please follow, subscribe, and engage in our social media accounts at TikTok_TV. That's going to be on Twitter and Instagram, and Think-Talk Broadcast on YouTube. And give us a review. Just give us a review of how you feel about the conversations we're having and the learnings that we have. For partnership in the future and collaboration, please connect with Coach Yourself at 0917-586-1661. Thank you very much for joining me. Maraming salamat. See you in the next episode of Integrate. That's going to be happening next Saturday on May 7th at 10:30 p.m. live here at Think Talk Broadcast. Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us in the Philippines. Love, bam, boom. Thank you, everyone. Everyone, thank you. Advancing life coaching worldwide. Thank you, Architect Paolo.
Thank you.